Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers. How dare you? How dare you? You make me side with Grace Randolph. Really? Come on. What's up, Universe, and welcome back to the web's first must-see comic and nerd culture show. Welcome to Comic Universe, guys. And today is Tuesday, and we've missed a few, but you know what that means. It's Topic Tuesday, guys. And today's topic, we're talking about James Gunn being brought in by Warner Brothers to basically direct the sequel to Suicide Squad. Now, I have a mixed bag of emotions here. I have the fact that I am a James Gunn fan, and I believe everyone deserves a second chance. I love the Guardian of the Galaxy films. I love Slither. I love a few of his other movies as well. I was not a big fan of Suicide Squad. There were some things about it that I liked, and there were some things about it that I loathed. I hated. In many ways, Suicide Squad was the quirky answer to Guardians of the Galaxy, if you will. The bright and colorful, if you will. That's how the trailer was at least put together to try to compete and snag that audience, if you will. The audience that went to go see the wacky and wonky Guardians of the Galaxy. So I understand from that point why they're doing it. And again, I am a fan of James Gunn, and I do believe what he did 10 years ago was in poor taste. But he's apologized for it, has moved on. I don't believe in any way is he a threat to anyone. Comedians say a lot of things, and they're not necessarily held accountable for it. I don't know why the same can't be done to other form of media, if you will. But that's neither here nor there, not the point of today's topic video. And I can't believe, generally with Grace Randolph, I don't side with her on many of her views. I think she's kind of, I'm not a hater. I don't want to be labeled that way. I'm just not a big fan. I do watch some of her videos just to see maybe a different point of view, which I do always enjoy, and at least that from her. But many times I find myself just like face palming some of the things she says, and again, I do like to be open to other people's points of view, so that's not the point of this video. I'm not here to bash on her. But in this particular essence, I kind of side with her on, I don't think it's a good idea that James Gunn is being brought on to direct the film. Suicide Squad 2, I'm sure, will be a better movie with him behind the helm. As long as all the suit and ties don't stick their fingers in and try to stir things up and mix things up, if you will. So in that regard, I definitely think it'll be a better movie. I just have a feeling that it's going to make even less money and not do as good as people want it to. And I think ultimately that's just going to hurt him, if you will. And the reason why I say that is, like Grace said in her video, the average moviegoer, the casual moviegoer, I should say, is the most important moviegoer. And I want you guys here in the universe to understand that I'm approaching this idea as a business. I'm approaching the idea of movie making as a business. It's kind of you kind of have to when you start talking about the the big wigs like Disney and Warner Brothers. When you're talking about the suit and ties making these decisions, you kind of have to look at it not as a fan and not as what you want, but as how it's going to go. So the casual moviegoer that, like she says, goes maybe once or twice a month, basically they, and again, white-collared America, a lot of Republicans, things to that nature. And again, not all Republicans, not all white-collared America are going to side with this or condemn James Gunn for what he's done. But a lot of that general audience is the audience that really will hold him to the things that he did 10 years ago. They're the ones that are going to decide, whether to invest and all of that jazz into a movie like this. Now, also in Grace's video, which I do urge you guys, I'm not going to plug her very often, but this particular time I will say go and watch her thoughts on Suicide Squad. In this particular case, she does have a few good points. The last time Warner Brothers thought that they did such a good job, stealing right from underneath, Disney, if you will, after they fired Josh Whedon, who is one of my all-time favorite directors. I love Josh Whedon. He's one of my favorite writers. I love almost everything he's ever done. Okay, from Buffy and onward, if you will. I'm a huge, regardless of what anyone says out there, Avengers is one of my all-time favorite movies, and it's just pure. We're not even talking about how it is as a movie. Just by the fact that I got to see it in my lifetime is enough for me to enjoy that movie. So I'm a little biased to that. But Josh Whedon, I think overall we would all say he's generally a good director, is a good writer. He's a good person to have associated with your movie, if you will, especially in this day and age. And clearly he managed to help split the DCEU fans, if you will, even more so. Whether he had the good, whether he did good in the Justice League movie or bad, whether he helped it or made it worse, regardless, it didn't work out so well. So in my opinion, it's the last thing the likes of a struggling cinematic universe needs, is to bring on someone that has the baggage, if you will. And unfortunately, James Gunn does have baggage. And I know most of you guys may just be only able to look at it as a fan and be like, this is the greatest news ever. But really, it's not. They need home run after home run after home run. And not just terms of quality of the film. They need nothing that people can poke at and hold them back. And the movie can be great. It can have a great Rotten Tomatoes score. So, it can do wonders in that regard. But it's not going to make the money it's needed. It'll probably perform under budget. Might be classified as a failure, and that just hurts him more as a director. Now, another thing about this all is Batista has apparently said that if Gunn is with Suicide Squad, he wants in. So that might be two Disney cast-offs, that Warner Brothers is going to acquire. But not in a positive manner. Dave Batista, I'm a huge wrestling fan. He's one of my favorites as well. I do dig him. I like Drax. I think he's a decent enough actor. He doesn't quite have the charisma of, let's say, The Rock or even a John Cena, but every movie I've seen him in, he's done a decent enough job. But again, he got a lot of bad press by backing Gunn so hard. And dissing on the mouse, and again, for better or for worse, as a company, and I understand this from someone who owns a company and is trying to run a company, and it just, I understand. I probably in that position might have to have made the same choice. You can take a chance and back the guy, and that might not be good. I mean, especially someone like Disney probably could have done it and got away with it because it's Disney in terms of the financial loss. But someone like myself, I couldn't afford that financial loss. To lose, Comic YOUniverse, even though we're not making any money currently, would just be devastating to me and the guys. And it would be something I'd seriously not be able to take that risk on. I would have to weigh out the risks and see that, maybe letting him go might be the better choice, the less risky of a job, if you will. And Disney did make some, key choices by keeping the script that Gunn at least did, and it's not like it all ended in negative tension. They had a meeting. By the end of the meeting, everyone shook hands, went their separate ways, understood where they stood. Nothing was left out in the open. Nothing was dark or shady or anything like that. So they did it the best way they could. They at least listened to the fans. They listened to his agent. They listened to him. They listened to Feige. They all put their together and they weighed it out. And they're like, look, we rely too heavily on children. Those comments were not essentially good for families and people coming to our theme parks and this and that. So they couldn't afford it. So there we go. And now Warner Brothers, who kind of needs as much good press as they possibly can get. And I guess there's no such thing as bad press. But in the world of trying to make money, I would have to beg to differ. But, only time will tell. I want this franchise to do good. And, in fact, I know with him behind the helm, I'm 100% sure it'll be a better movie. So for me, I'm going to be able to enjoy it. And as a fan, I'm all about this. Make this happen. This is great news for me. If Batista wants to join in on the DCEU to make it better, or Worlds of DC, whatever the hell they want to call it, and make it better, I'm all for that. But as a business, and as me wanting this franchise to keep going and chugging along, be that little engine that could, this might be a big dip in the road. This may be the tracks falling off and the train, tumbling about, if you will, falling off of the rails. This could be what kills the DCEU. We don't know. And again, with the Joker movie coming out, there's a lot of mixed bag reactions to this, personally. Again, I don't want to get too much into this because that's not the point of this topic video. With the Joker film, no matter how good it is, I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, it could win Oscars, it could break records, and it still will not live up to its fullest potential as a film by apparently excluding Batman. I also feel that this is just really them trying to appeal to and please the Dark Knight fans by trying to make him as grungy as possible. They're just throwing that sticks to the wind and see what will, take off, if you will. This leaves to the wind and seeing what will fly away and make them money and return some profit. They just seem like a company that's so lost and not focused. And perception is reality. Regardless of what that is, if that's the way it is or not, perception is reality. And I have a feeling that it might start to bleed over into some of their other franchises. Again, only time will tell. I don't believe that the spin-offs to the Harry Potter films are performing the way that they anticipated. They've done decent so far, but it's done decent so far. But again, it's not to the level of Harry Potter, and there should be no reason why it's not. It should have, those fans should have carried over and carried it, if you will. So I'm not blaming the DCEU on that, but I'm just saying that Warner Brothers needs a home run. They need more than a home run. People want to say that Wonder Woman was a home run for them. I think honestly it was a first base hit. It really was, because regardless of what anyone thinks, it was a strong. The first two halves of that movie were strong. The third act of that movie was nowhere near as strong as the first two. And clearly she didn't knock it out the park. It definitely wasn't a grand slam or a home run, because no one came back to see, practically no one came back to see her in Justice League. So, you see what I'm saying? Like, if Iron Man is going to be in the Howard the Duck movie, okay, people are going to go see it just because Iron Man is in it. He'll carry that franchise on his back. He'll carry every franchise on his back. Wonder Woman was not able to do that, is all that I'm saying. I'm not hating, I'm just stating facts here, guys. I wanted the DCEU to succeed. I want it to be good. I want it to rival Marvel. Competition is good for companies. It really is. Again, I'm a big wrestling fan, Back in the heyday, the Attitude Era, the Monday Night Wars, if you know what I'm talking about, I'm not trying to bore you with the details, when you had WCW and WWE, and even ECW at a point, all colliding, wrestling was at its best. Now that we just have the WWE, now I know there's other wrestling out there that in many ways rivals the WWE, but generally here in America we have the WWE, and everybody else plays second fiddle. And honestly, their product is nowhere near as good as it once used to be in terms of storytelling and execution and all of the above. Guys, that's just going to be enough for my ramblings, I guess, guys. And I just want I want to know what you guys are thinking down below. Do you think this is a good idea? And I'm asking you guys to look at it not as a fan. Because again, as a fan, I'm excited. I want it. It's going to be great. I'm going to enjoy the movie. It's going to be good. But try to pull yourself out of this. As a business plan, do you think this is a good idea? How do you think this is going to work out? Do you think this could be the end or the catalyst that starts the end of what is known as what we call the DCEU? I guess only time will tell. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think. And also you can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. Let us know there too. If we're just kind of crazy, or if I'm just kind of crazy here, guys. And hopefully you guys will be getting some more videos from DPZ and Jay here soon, guys. And guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on the video. And until next time, I'm C-Dubbs, and I'll see you in the universe. Peace.